Fright Night Vault. Audio horror for nighttime listening.
Welcome, Fright Night Vault listeners. The city never truly sleeps, but sometimes it trembles. The summer nights of the 1970s pressed down like a fever, humid, restless, and heavy with whispers that clung to the air. Apartment windows stayed cracked open, radios hummed low, and couples drifted beneath the glow of street lamps, unaware that something hunted them in the dark. The streets were alive with noise, laughter spilling from bars, engines growling down avenues, the rhythm of a city that thought itself invincible. But when the hour grew late and footsteps echoed too long in an empty block, fear began to stir. People started walking faster. Glances over the shoulder became instinct. Windows drew curtains against the night. For weeks, the city had been pierced by sudden violence. Lovers parked in quiet corners, strangers heading home, all struck down without warning. Gunfire split the silence, and by the time the echoes died, another body was left cooling on the pavement. There was no pattern anyone could see, except that the victims were young, ordinary, alive one moment and gone the next. Then came the letters, mocking, rambling, promising more blood. They arrived like taunts, signed with a name that was not a name, a voice that spoke of demons and compulsion, a force that would not be stopped. And so the city turned inward. Taxi drivers refused to take passengers down certain streets. Couples stopped meeting in parked cars. Nightlife, once endless, began to wither. The whole metropolis felt stalked, as though unseen eyes followed every turn of the head. This is where the story begins. A city choking on dread, unsure which shadow might conceal the hand of death. The fear spread like smoke, seeping through every burrow. It wasn't just the killings, it was their randomness. Young women shot in cars, couples ambushed in the stillness of the night, strangers caught in the crossfire of someone unseen. There was no warning, no logic, no mercy. New York, once a city that pulsed with defiance, found itself gripped by a predator who could strike anywhere, at any time. Police swarmed the streets. Checkpoints rose at night. But the killer was always a step ahead, melting into the dark. Whispers twisted into rumors. Some swore he was more than one man. Others whispered of something unholy, a phantom carrying out rituals beneath the stars. Then came the letters again, scrawled words of madness, dripping with bravado, addressed directly to the press and police. They mocked the efforts to catch him, promised more violence, spoke of voices that commanded him. He gave himself a name, signing each with a mark that sent chills through the city. The headlines screamed warnings. Parents kept their daughters inside. Lovers no longer trusted the night. Even the rhythm of daily life was broken. Streets once loud with music fell silent. Bars emptied early. Neighborhoods became watchful and tense. Every siren in the night could mean another life extinguished. Every sound behind you on a dark street might be him. The hunt was on, and yet the city felt helpless, cornered in its own streets. The killings did not stop. They multiplied. Summer nights turned into rituals of fear. Young women glancing over their shoulders, couples clinging to each other in the dark, every quiet street becoming a potential grave. Each time the gunfire erupted, the city seemed to flinch as one. Headlines bled with terror. Photos of victims lined the papers like tombstones. The killer's words cut deeper than the bullets. Another letter arrived, a rambling, deranged confession. He spoke of a voice, a demon, something ancient that demanded blood. He gave it a name. He gave himself a name the press devoured and whispered like a curse. From that point on, he wasn't just a murderer. He was a phantom, a myth, a shadow with a title that could chill an entire city. Fear evolved into obsession. Radios carried warnings. Police patrolled in droves. And yet, the killings continued. No pattern beyond the madness, no safety in any burrow. Even when the city burned with summer heat, the nights were colder than ever. Young women changed their appearances, darkening their hair, altering their routines, desperate to not fit whatever hidden profile the killer followed. Couples refused to sit in cars, as if the leather seats themselves had become coffins, and still, the bodies fell. The killer bragged, taunted, smiled through words of fire and blood. He promised he would never stop. He promised the city belonged to him, and in those feverish weeks it almost seemed true. The city was suffocating, waiting for the next gunshot. Nights had become cages, and every locked door felt too thin. But then, something shifted. A simple mistake unraveled the phantom. A parking ticket written near the scene of one of the shootings tied a name to the fear. David Berkowitz. Not a myth, not a legion of shadows. One man, living in a cluttered apartment, his neighbors never suspecting the storm behind his eyes. When police approached, he didn't run. He didn't fight. He smiled. And in the back seat of his car lay the weapon that had fed a summer of dread. The truth spilled quickly. Berkowitz spoke of commands from a demon, a voice that lived in the body of his neighbor's dog. He wrote letters claiming he was chosen, driven, compelled. Whether madness or invention, his words twisted the story into something darker, no longer just crime, but ritual, obsession, possession. The city exhaled when he was caught, but the fear never fully lifted. New York had looked into the eyes of chaos, and it had worn the face of a man who seemed otherwise ordinary. The story you just heard is no invention. You can look it up yourself. It is the story of David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, who stalked New York City in 1976 and 1977. His crimes inspired books, documentaries, and even films, his name etched forever into the annals of true crime and urban nightmare. This is an audio-only descent into fear, made to chill your ears while shadows linger on the screen. If you enjoy these stories, leave a like, share, and speak your mind in the comments below, and subscribe, so the next shadow doesn't find you first. Something new is coming tomorrow night, and it's worse than the last one. Subscribe to be the first to hear it. We upload daily. If you have a story of your own, feel free to leave it in the comments below. You never know, the next story could be yours. See you on the next video.